What's good everyone, it's Steve from Sneaker Tech Talk, back with another video today. For today's video, we will be taking a look at the newly released Adidas AE1 Low in this Best of Adi colorway. Alright, so really quickly, I did want to take a look at the box that does come with the shoes, and you are getting your standard AE1 box right here that is a pull-out drawer. Obviously, you can see some white paper with his logo on the inside. The drawer itself is white on the inside. On the one side, it says Anthony Edwards, established in Georgia 2001. Don't follow the wave. And then on the other side, I did see this time instead of AE1 Low, it says Anthony Edwards 1 Low. And I did get these in a US size 10.5. Alright, so as you can see right here, they did release the Best of Adi colorway in this low top form. Now I have reviewed the mid top form of the Best of Adi or Storm Trooper colorway. I think it was back last year in 2024. The difference with that pair is it did have, I believe, a green Adidas logo at the back, whereas this one here has this red logo and some red accents running throughout on the spring plate, and then on his logo here right at the tongue. But as always, starting with the traction pattern at the bottom of this shoe, you are getting this oversized herringbone traction pattern, as you can see right here. And this pattern is elite. On clean floors or dirty floors indoors, you'll be good to go. Dirty floors, you may have to wipe every so often, as this translucent outsole does collect a little bit of dust. But honestly, even when it collects dust, this has amazing stopping power on any indoor floor. Outdoors, I'm sure you could get away with it, but these grooves are pretty shallow and thin, so I am thinking that they would wear away pretty quickly. But the traction pattern on the Adidas AE1 lows and mids are awesome. I think I'm up to like 6 or 7 pairs so far, and I've hooped a ton in this shoe right here. I have a performance test on the mid tops and the low tops, and the traction across the board has been fantastic. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing his second signature model, but it does seem like in 2025 we're going to get a ton of low tops, and I'm really not mad at that because I love this design and the overall performance of the outsole on the AE1 mids and lows. As far as the cushioning goes on the low tops, you are getting light boost. As you can see, I believe it's full length light boost from heel to toe, and then on the inside of the shoe right here on the medial side, you are getting some light strike foam. So the overall underfoot comfort is very plush underfoot. It does have more compression than the mid top because there is this portion right here that is kind of cut out and allows for some compression at the back of the shoe, as you can see right here. Overall, it's a very comfortable feeling. And then if you do lift the insole of this shoe, you can kind of see the boost directly under it. There is kind of a hole cut out where you can feel the boost. It's very nice underfoot. You get a ton of impact protection at the back, while the front of the shoe is decently close to the floor for court feel. I think positions 1 through 5 can play in this model and get away with it as far as the cushioning goes. I do think it's more tailored for, you know, that slasher player or high flyer, or even guards that like a little bit of a heavier shoe with more substance. The cushioning setup on this shoe with the light boost and light strike is very nice underfoot. So as far as I'm concerned, I really enjoy the cushion setup on this model. It's very similar to what you're getting on the Adidas Harden Volume 9. It's basically the same setup with the light strike and light boost. As far as the materials go on the AE1 lows, it's the same as the mids. You are kind of getting this rubberized honeycomb pattern on both sides of the shoes, as you can see right here. It does a great job of harnessing your foot in on those hard lateral cuts. And then you're kind of getting this Cordura mesh here at the heel and running down the eye stay on both sides. At the toe box, you are getting this really nice 3M hit. So when this shoe does kind of hit certain lightings, it does flash up. Or if someone was to take a picture of your shoe, this toe box right here does flash up really nicely. And that's across the board on all of the colorways so far. I do believe the original kind of peach colorway did have suede, but on most colorways, they do have that 3M toe. And I think it's a great hit. It really adds to the shoe as far as just adding some kind of flavor and just kind of spice to the shoe on a shoe that's honestly pretty simple when it comes to the materials, having kind of this rubberized texture and the Cordura mesh. The tongue is kind of like a nylon tongue. It's very nicely padded and comfortable on the top of your foot. So as far as the materials go, I do really enjoy with what they're doing. The only issue with these materials is honestly they're pretty heavy in hand and on foot. Like the mids are like 20 plus ounces and these are I think around 18 ounces. So it's a very heavy basketball shoe. But as far as the aesthetics and the materials go, I really enjoy what they have going on here. As far as the fit goes with this model right here, I did go true to size with my size 10.5. I will mention it is a very snug fitting shoe because this toe box is extremely tapered to the point where honestly, until they're broken in, I do get some toe cramp here because I do feel like it's pressing down on the top of my toes. I did try going up half a size in the low tops and I was getting heel slip, and once they broke in, I just had too much room at the end of the shoe right here. So I have went back to my usual size 10.5, and once they break in, I don't have too many issues where this is pressing down on my toe, but I will say right off the bat, you might get that feeling. And if you're a wide footer, as you can see, it does taper in a lot right here at the forefoot of the shoe. So I would recommend, if you can, to try these on in store. Because in my opinion, they are pretty narrow right at the front and the tip of the shoe right here. But for me, again, I went with my true to size. I know a lot of people were having issues at the back of the shoe where they were getting heel slip. I do find if you do tie a runner's knot, and for me, if you do put the laces through this kind of loop right here and really crank the laces down super tight, that kind of alleviated any heel slip at the back of the shoe. And it also prevents the tongue from sliding around on you, because the one thing that the lows don't have that the mids do is the bungees on the inside. There's no gusset, so the tongue is free flowing. So I did find if you put the laces through that loop right there, it does prevent that. And it honestly gives you a better fit at the back of the shoe as well. You do get a ton of padding at the back, but I know a ton of people were having issues with heel slip. So I think if you go true to size for that super snug one-to-one fit, you should be good to go in the AE1 low. As far as the support goes on this model right here for basketball use, it's superb as far as support goes. At the back of the shoe, you do have an internal TPU heel counter already, but then they added this extra layer of protection with this carbon fiber-esque plastic plate that does have that carbon fiber print and the Adidas logo right here. So as far as the heel protection and keeping your foot locked in at the back of the shoe, this shoe is superb on foot. If you can get your proper fit and size to prevent that heel slip, this back of the shoe does protect you very nicely on the AE1 lows. Moving your way down from that, the rubber portion of the outsole does wrap up the back of the shoe to add a little bit more stability and protection. And then this rubberized portion of the lateral and medial side does protect your foot. If you do take those hard lateral cuts, it prevents your foot from spilling over the side of the shoe. So for me, I really had no issues with any kind of heel slip after my initial break-in period, or with the shoe kind of not fitting my foot right and my foot sliding over the side of the footbed. This shoe does a great job of protecting your foot. Now moving your way to the bottom, you do have this kind of X plate right here that kind of adds that springboard effect when you run or jump in the AE1 mids or lows. Both models do have it, so again, it adds some really nice torsional rigidity and that springboard-like effect underfoot. You also have this wide and stable base here in the forefoot, coupled with this outrigger to prevent your foot from teetering over if you do land awkwardly here in the AE1 lows. So as far as the support goes with this model on court, I've played like over 30 hours in this model across all the colorways I have, and they're great as far as the support goes. I think bigger players can play with them, smaller players can play with them. They're just such a supportive basketball shoe and one of the most supportive low top basketball shoes today. Another thing I do like about this model and some of the colorways that have been coming out recently is they're adding two sets of laces, kind of the accent colors of the back of the shoe with that red Adidas logo and the AE logo on the tongue. You are getting red laces right here. Obviously, I do have one black and one red to kind of ask you guys, what do you prefer in hand and on foot? Do you prefer the red laces or the black laces? I think the black laces look super clean on this colorway, but honestly, the red laces just hit different. I have been keeping a lot of black laces in most of my models for the AE1s, but honestly, this red one just pops so much. I'm really liking the look of it in hand. And then as far as the value that you're getting with this shoe across the board, keep in mind the low tops run for 110 USD, 140 here in Canada. I think what you're getting here from Adidas with that light boost from heel to toe, the light strike on the medial side, the overall design, and just the tech within this shoe for 110 USD is one of the best price points across the board from any brand. And it's coming from Adidas, a pretty big brand nonetheless. So I'm loving what you're getting with this model right here for the price point. I think Nike could definitely take some cues as far as giving us more tech. Like, this is some of Adidas' best tech across the board, and you're getting it at a very fair price in my opinion. So sound off in the comments what you guys think as far as the design and the overall price point. But that's gonna do it for today's video on the AE1 lows in this best of Adi colorway. Obviously it's a pretty simple colorway with the black upper right here, the white running throughout with that silver 3M toe box. Sound off in the comments where these stack up against all of the other low tops. I still really need to grab the Year of the Snake AE1 lows, kind of that pearlized, almost pink-esque upper with the black and the pink laces that do come with those. I still need to grab those in a US size 10.5. So if you guys have a link to those, sound off in the comments because I would love to grab them. But sound off what you guys think of this colorway, and if you're planning on picking these up in the future. For me, it was definitely a day one grab, and I'm very much happy to add them to the on-court rotation here in 2025. But that's gonna do it for today's video. As always, if you guys could like, comment, and subscribe, that would definitely help the channel a ton. And check out my Instagram over at Sneaker Tech Talk, as it is an extension of my YouTube channel with all my pickups, basketball footage, and nostalgia as a whole. Stick around for the end of the video as I will have a portion of me having these on foot. But as always, thanks for watching today's video, and until next time, peace.